So in this podcast, I want to talk about Armchair Detective's book reviews. He's released his Shadowman book. I haven't spent a single solitary penny on his Shadowman book because I have no interest in his garbage conspiracy theories. For all my new subscribers or people who don't know who AD is, Armchair Detective, he is a con artist. And he's somebody who talks about true crime cases, but what he tends to do is he tends to exploit crime cases. And one of the people that commented under one of my videos about him said, I am with you. He happened across my eyes and ears because of the Delphi case, which he also twisted up. So he's one of these people that he takes true crime cases and twists the narrative to try and hook audiences with that narrative. And usually the narrative that he chooses is not a true one or authentic. He basically takes crime cases and exploits them, exploits the people in them, exploits the families of the victims, and creates his own narrative. And whatever narrative that he creates that he thinks people are going to be hooked on, that's kind of the one he chooses. He's not about truth. So he, one of the biggest cases that he has focused on to make money out of is the Chris Watts case. And I have no problem with people making money out of true crime. People have been making money out of true crime since true crime started, since people started writing about true crime, books, movies, TV shows. People are always going to make money out of true crime, and I don't mind people making money out of true crime as long as they're telling the true story. This guy, Armchair Detective, he tells lies. And he just released a book called Shadowman, and it's about the Chris Watts case, which is his main topic. Main topic on his channel is the Chris Watts case. He occasionally does other cases, but the main topic on his channel is the Chris Watts case. So he's just released a book, and I'm going to read the reviews. The other thing about this podcast that I'm going to talk about is the Summer Wells case. That case is being completely exploited by various channels on YouTube. But I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to give you my own theory about the Summer Wells case after I've read the reviews on AD's new book, Shadowman, which is about the Chris Watts case. Okay, so now to the book reviews, not views, like I was saying. Who's giving AD 1-star reviews? He's complaining that you gang stalkers out there are giving him 1-star reviews and trying to sabotage his mission. I take that with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not just going to read the 1-star reviews because that would not be fair. And even as much as I despise AD's behavior, I think that everyone deserves a fair trial. And I'm going to give him a fair trial. So I'm not just going to read the 1-star reviews. I'm also going to read the more positive reviews as well. But the interesting thing that I noticed when I look at the reviews is that they're either 1-star or 5-star, generally speaking. So either you're absolutely against him or you're absolutely for him. And I think that's the thing with AD. You either love him or the total opposite. So anyway, I'm going to start off with some of the 1-star views. I purchased this book. I use that term very lightly. I cannot read it. The grammar and the spelling is atrocious. I have returned to get my money back. I seriously want to know if this was written by an 8-year-old. Appalling. Now, as you all know, this Shadowman book, if you don't know, I'm going to explain it to you. The Shadowman book is about Chris Watts, the Chris Watts case, and AD has credited himself with solving the case because he found some shadows. What a pile of nonsense. But anyway, so this is another 1-star review, and I'm going to read it, or at least some of it. Where to begin with this self-published vanity project? The author speaks of himself in the third person and boasts of his ability to investigate and examine the facts and see the small details that others miss. Sadly, within the first few lines of oddly jumbled sentences, riddled with spelling and grammatical errors, his lack of attention to detail is laid bare and his claims of diligence are called into question. Who writes a book and fails to do a simple spell check? Never mind have the work proofread by an editor. Clearly the publishing package bought with his fans' money didn't even include the basics such as formatting and the text. Referring to the day that a mother and her children were brutally slain as Murder Monday speaks volumes about the author's mindset. Naming the day of the murders like some kind of sporting event shows his callousness towards the victims and their family. I found this particularly sickening. The book takes less than 30 minutes to painfully read from start to finish, as it only contains 81 pages, including photos, scant on facts, and heavy on conspiracy theories about a solved case. This book is absolutely abysmal. A 7-year-old... And you get the gist of what I'm saying here. I think I'm going to finish with that review, only a few more words anyway. But you get the gist of that. Absolute utter rubbish. All lies. No stars. Badly written. Atrocious grammar. The space bar seemed to be being used as optional extra. An author of quality and a respectable publisher would not have allowed this book to be released. Substandard nonsense. Okay, so they are the bad reviews, and like I said, the reviews are either completely negative or completely positive, and that is, there's no in between. There's no middle ground. It's either you love this guy, you buy everything he's saying, or you don't. So these are the more positive reviews. Let's start with this one. This is an excellent book, well-researched and very well written. It begins to tell the story of the smiling, gentle persona of Chris Watts that hid a family annihilator. A liar since his school days who used his lifelong ability to tell people what they wanted to hear. His portrayal of a gentle, easygoing soul was a false image to hide a killer, and this book starts to lift the covers of a man who shocked the world with his crimes. Well done to Alan and all who helped produce this excellent book. So you can see, you go from very negative to very positive. And like I said, I wasn't just going to read the negative comments because that wouldn't be fair. Let's see now. I'm struggling to find the more positive comments. Hold on. I had them. No, I can't find them. Okay. A new perspective and investigation, or lack of investigation, of the murder of Colorado woman Shanann Watts and her children in 2018. The author has clearly done a great deal of research and by many accounts faced inexplicable attacks online, which could actually be a book in itself. This book is a thought-provoking read, and I recommend this book for those who are interested in true crime and investigation. There is a couple of type format errors in the Kindle version, however, that is quite commonly seen with books that are automatically reformatted to an electronic version, and not necessarily an error of the author. I wonder who wrote that one. Probably one of AD's supporters, female supporters, it usually is. Thank you, Alan, for all your hard work and all the time you put into this wonderful book. I have to be truthful. The one problem with this book, shake my head, SMH, it's so good I don't want to put it down. You're right. Strong, analytical, and critical thinking of the crime. The Ellie in Colorado should learn a lesson on how to secure a crime scene. Look forward to more books by the author. What's going on in this case? ? The book was easy to read. I finished in a few hours. Seems like there was a lot left to be desired by the investigation. I am interested to see what happens. Already read that one. Right, let's go back to some of the more negative comments. You see, I'm being fair. I want to read I want to read both positive and negative comments. I am trying to, because I'm logged out, I'm trying to get all of them lined up. I purchased this out of interest of the case. I had to quit at page 4 due to the lack of oxygen. It's not easy reading a book without full stops and commas. Imagine if you purchased the ebook. Given the author, I didn't exactly have high expectations, but this is just laughable, an actual robbery of the non-suspecting purchasers. So I wanted to give an honest opinion. The book tries to make sense, but it jumps back and forth from one area to another. There's no actual storyline. I noticed at the beginning where Alan claimed Chris was spotted at the shop wearing an orange t-shirt was false. It was proven this was a mistake and since corrected, but surely if the author has properly researched this case, he'd have known this. It was at that point I just knew this book was a rush, throw it out. Their comic. I'm shocked at how bad this book is and have since returned for a refund. It's literally impossible to read, mainly because it fails to get the reader from the start. It's nothing more than the primary school story time type book. It's boring at best. It hasn't been fact-checked nor spell-checked. This proves to me that just about anyone can scribble words down and sell it, which is what this book is really about. Money, because it surely isn't fame. So yeah, I think I did justice. I did him some justice. You know, I have to be fair. I had to read the good and the bad. I wasn't just going to read the bad or the good comments. So yeah, it's very, very varied. You either are completely for his conspiracy theories or you're completely against them. That tends to be. I hardly saw any 3-star reviews, any 2-star reviews. It was very much either 1 star. Some people wanted to give it no stars, or it was 5-star. So you're either completely for or against Alan Vinnicum. Right, now on to the Summer Wells case. It seems to be a case that's become very popular among true crime channels on YouTube. My channel is not a strictly true crime channel. My channel is about human behavior, and I use true crime and other factors and other subjects and topics to highlight human behavior. And true crime involves extreme human behavior. So I often use it on my channel, but my channel is not just about true crime. It's about human behavior, narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy, and stuff like that. But yes, I see that the Summer Wells case has gotten very popular and people are exploiting it and coming up with theories. I'm not saying that people can't come up with theories, because I'm going to come up with a possible theory. But I think that I don't think that the fact that people are talking about it has anything to do with concern for Summer Wells. I think people are doing it for views. So that's why I say the case is being exploited. It's probably not going to be a very... I'm probably not going to cover the case extensively ever on this channel, because there's other cases that I'm more interested in. But I was watching a true crime documentary a few weeks ago, or maybe less than a few weeks ago. And it was about a girl called Brittany Wood who went missing. This also happened in the South. So I don't know what's going on in the South with these children going missing and Southern families, but this also happened in the South, like the Summer Wells case. She went missing and she came from, I think it was Tennessee, or somewhere in the South. But this girl, Brittany Wood, she went missing after she'd gone to see her uncle, Donnie Holland. And they never found her body, but what they did find out is that her uncle, Donnie Holland, who was the last place she went before she disappeared, they found out that he was running a sex abuse ring. And it was a very incestuous one. The mother was involved. Other members of the family were involved, including other children. And, there was evidence of this. There was photographic evidence of this. There was documentation through emails and texts. And I came to the conclusion it was a very, very disturbing documentary. I came to the conclusion that Brittany Woods, who was a young mother, I came to the conclusion that her disappearance probably had something to do with her uncle. I'm not 100% certain, but her disappearance did unearth this child sex abuse ring. And I haven't looked at the Summer Wells case extensively, but I have heard whispers about it and rumors about it. And it seems to me that the family that she came from was quite dysfunctional. So the fact that she disappeared, it may very well be to do with something along with the lines of child sex abuse rings, the fact that her family is dysfunctional, that there's secrets within that family that we don't know yet, and that, the family that she was in, the family that, she was born to, that she was living with, are a seedy family. Now, I'm not saying this for certain. Like I said, I don't know much about the Summer Wells case. It's not something that there's other cases that interest me more. So I haven't really been investigating the case. And I hope that she will be found. But she went missing just like this other girl that I told you about, Brittany Wood. And, she went missing, and her family doesn't seem to be the most traditional family in a lot of ways. There seems to be something very dysfunctional about her family. So, and this also happened in the South. And so I suspect, and, maybe somebody who she doesn't know snatched her. That's also a possibility. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the definite truth. But when I was doing the thumbnail for this podcast, I thought about that Brittany Wood case. And I thought, oh my God, this girl is also from the South, like Summer Wells. And her family was also dysfunctional. And, apparently these child sex abuse rings, apparently they're rife in the South, and various pockets of America, not just in America, but probably other countries as well. And I think that it's very possible that she was betrayed by either a relative in the family or somebody very close to the family. That's my theory because of the Brittany Wood documentary, which was called Monster in the Shadows, like I said, which is very ironic, seeing as AD's book is called The Shadow Man. But, it's a case that people are exploiting for views. It's nothing to do with concern for Summer Wells. It's to do with, exploitation, ad revenue and all that kind of stuff. But it's very sad that she's gone missing, and I hope she'll be found. But I think that somebody needs to take a close look at the family unit and the people that had access to her, that knew her, maybe not heavily, but maybe people that they had coming to the house, or other, members of the family. The police need to really, really do a very, very long, hard investigation in that case. And I wouldn't be surprised if it had anything to do with child exploitation or molestation or things like that. Things that I don't really like to talk about on this channel or go deep into on this channel. But yeah, that Brittany Woods case, Monster in the Shadows, that documentary was very, very disturbing. And it was after I watched that channel, I started thinking maybe something like that happened to Summer Wells. Who knows? She could have been nabbed by a stranger. Who knows? But that is definitely one of my theories, that what happened to her may have to do with child sex abuse, molestation, something going on in her dysfunctional family, or somebody very close to her family took advantage. That's my opinion.